Okay. Let's get into the show. First and foremost, I do want to say I want to, I guess, apologize to any of my YouTube watchers of the podcast back in the day. The show is now moving forward, at least for the foreseeable future, going to be audio only. Now that doesn't mean that I won't put some of the clips, maybe even the whole show, audio only on YouTube. I'm going to decide about that. But we have decided, or I have decided, should I say, to go audio only for the, like I said, foreseeable future. It makes sense for the show. It just makes sense for me and just logistically and making everything work. It is just better that way. If there is demand to see my face talking into this microphone, then I'll change it up. I doubt that that's going to be the case. But just wanted to let you guys know, get that out of the way right up top. But yeah, let's get into some music stuff. The last episode I recorded was July 14th. My album, The Other Side, came out July 20th. So it's kind of funny that that's when I decided to take the halt on the show, because it's like I had been promoting that album for months and months and months and talking about it on this podcast, and then it comes out and I just kind of radio silent. But that being said, I hopefully, if gave you guys a chance to listen to it. I'm hoping that we're in such a weird culture of something comes out, you have to put a judgment on it right away. And I'm gonna get into Drake and Kanye a little bit just to kind of talk about that. But so I'm trying to not go here today, gone tomorrow with this album, if that makes sense. Because all my other projects back in the day, I've pretty much done that. I have honestly, like, I'll post it, maybe make a couple music videos, promote it for maybe a month, and then some of the songs don't do well, and I just assume that that means that people didn't like them. When in reality, I mean, it might mean that, but something, but like nowadays, a lot of times you got to tell people and convince them what they like and shit, and you got to like not give up on your own records, and which I'm really not trying to. I'm trying not to do with this album. I mean, we're a month and a half out from the release, and I am consistently like still putting out new videos. I have like 4 more videos planned for the album, so like I might try to. The goal number is probably to try to get to 10 out of the 12 songs. So I think I'm just not going to shoot a video for the intro and for the outro, which is Family Matters for the intro and Simples for the outro. 2 of my favorite songs, if I'm being honest, but I'm not sure if I'm going to shoot videos for them. But everything else, I think I am going to. So I hope you've been enjoying that. I got another one coming out tomorrow, actually. And that brings me to the point that I kind of want to talk about, what this whole Certified Lover Boy versus Donda, the Drake versus Kanye thing that's been happening these last 2 weeks with their album drops and their beef, the tension rising and everything. What it's done for me, I mean, as far as just like looking at things, well, there's a couple things. First of all, how annoying is it that, like I said, everybody has to make a judgment on an album after one day? I'm talking about these artists, and I'll just put it into me, because like I said, I spent like a year and a half on The Other Side. I really focused on it, and then you're gonna listen to it for an hour and then just give your final judgment on it and never listen again and just say this is what I think of it. Like, and that's what everybody feels the need to do. Like, you hear Donda, 27 songs, almost 2 hours of music, and you hear it once and you make a judgment. Like, I mean, the same thing with Certified Lover Boy. It's like, how many is it, an hour and a half of music, 20 plus songs, and then you just listen once and you're like, this is trash. And you don't even listen to all the songs and you're probably doing something else while you're listening to it. Like, it's just, I don't know. I hate it. I was having a conversation with a friend who was telling me, he heard some interview. I wish I could remember where he said it from, but it's like talking about, I think it was Jay-Z talking about how, like, back in the day, when you had a music critic for an album, like, they got the album like a month in advance before the album came out, so they could digest it, write a full piece on it, and really go through it. Nowadays with streaming, the journalists and fake journalists, whatever you want to call them, are getting the albums when everybody else is getting them, when the people are getting them. So they feel the need to make, they have to get their point out and their article out, and their view, their take, their spin on it. They have to get it out first. And so it just becomes this game. I don't know, it's just so devaluing of the art. And it's really annoying. And also you just see all these people on Twitter and Instagram who are just like, apparently they're like music journalists and are experts in it. How can you be a music journal or like an expert in music journalism? Because I mean, I understand, like, actually doing the work and diving in and interviewing artists and taking the time to appreciate it and going through lyrics and stuff like that. But like, music is subjective. So then you're gonna have these people who don't do any of that, and then they're just gonna state their opinion as if it's fact. It's just so stupid and annoying, but whatever. Don't I try not to, I shouldn't dwell on that too much, but I mean, it was so obvious, especially with the fact that like we're all so, and I mean, no, we're all, so I don't want to generalize, but like we're so prone to picking a side and picking a team. So it's like since Drake and Kanye have this actual like beef, and they definitely capitalized on it for their album releases. I mean, they both went at each other, and I'm sure there's real feelings there, but they also knew what they were doing as far as album sales go. Um, and then also we feel like we have to pick a team. You do not have to pick a team when it comes to music. You can like both albums. And frankly, I did like both albums. So they're both completely different projects. I'm not gonna, after this giving this whole spiel on music journalism, I'm not gonna give you a full breakdown of on every song. I'm just gonna say I enjoyed both albums. I like Donda. Kanye always is creating new sounds and trying new things. He's got all these awesome features. It's great. Certified Lover Boy is a Drake album. It sounds like a Drake album. I've always loved Drake's music. So guess what? I like this album. Like that's just how this shit goes for me. Like whatever. Yeah, I don't know. But I did do a remix to Fair Trade, so go check that out. It's on my TikTok and my Instagram, and actually it's on our YouTube channel now too. But I think I'm gonna start doing some more of those. That's on a side note, sidebar. But yeah, I enjoyed doing that remix that I did the other day, and I think I'm gonna hop on a Donda track to show people that you can do both Drake and Kanye stuff, and I'm gonna do that. I gotta say is you don't gotta pick a side, with the music stuff. You can really like them both. You can just appreciate the art. Uh, the um, the other thing besides that annoyed me about the whole CLB versus Donda, the thing that I liked is that it really did show that albums still matter because we're in a day and age, especially as an indie artist, who I don't have a huge fan base by any means. I mean, I have some supporters and I appreciate all of them, but like the strategy that is always told to us as young artists is you gotta go, or nowadays you gotta go single, 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 because it's not worth it. Nobody's gonna listen to the whole project. You're gonna waste songs. You're not gonna have the money to budget the whole thing. All those things might be true, but showing this from two of the biggest artists in the world, specifically rap and hip hop artists, uh, all of these, pseudo journalists that I was just talking about were reviewing albums, not singles. So I will say that to me, it kind of gave me a little like, oh, they're still looking at albums. Albums still matter to them. Like, for me as an artist who loves to make albums, I mean, obviously I just released that, and I really, 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 really care about like a full piece of art. Like, I mean, if you go through my album, I'm gonna post the drawings here soon, but like I drew out an arc for the album and for the track list, and like it was supposed to be a story and it was supposed to be cohesive, and the one reason that I ended up producing the whole album is because I wanted the sound to be so similar. I had all these other songs that were bangers. I mean, like My Biz, It's Okay, like those songs were album songs, but I ended up deciding to go all with my production on it because I just thought it was more cohesive. I thought it sounded like the same project. And so for me, I knew, I thought I was in a day and age where people don't even pay attention to that shit anymore. It's just singles, but like I don't know. Everybody was talking about albums over the past couple of weeks. Like I kind of like that. I was like, I think albums are still alive. Albums are still alive. So I love that. And with that said, I'll finish up the music section by saying, usually when I release an album, I a lot of times I'm already starting to work on the next one. I have some ideas and I'm just like starting to do that. I don't have any ideas for the next project. So I'm not I'm at a point where right now I'm just doing singles and features and just rapping and remixes like I did to Fair Trade. And I'm enjoying that. So it's kind of cool because I'm really excited for the next album idea to come up. Like I know it's going to come up. I really try to let it happen organically. Hasn't happened for me yet, but I'm in a space where I'm just open for it and I'm ready for that to come up because I know that once that idea hits me and I know that it's the idea, I'm going to be on that next path for a year, maybe 2 years. I just know how it goes. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at musically. Also had to touch on the CLB Donda stuff. I will just say a couple of my favorite songs. I'll just give that I really like obviously Hurricane because that's the Weekend and Lil Baby song that's gonna be the single off Donda. Off the Grid's awesome. I think I might remix Off the Grid just to let y'all know. If you're a podcast listener, you just got the little scoop. And then the Drake album. I mean, there's a couple more songs on Donda that I really like too, but I don't have the track list in front of me. Um, but the Drake album, Fair Trade's obviously great. TSU, I mean, Love All. And then what's it called? The song with Drake and or the song with Rick Ross and Lil Wayne, "You Only Live Once" or something. I can't remember the name of it. And then the song with Kid Cudi. Those are all bangers. But I mean, I like a lot of records from both the albums. I've been listening to them a lot, honestly. But without as I get out of here, I do want to say still think my favorite album of the year might be "The House Is Burning" from Isaiah Rashad. So don't sleep on that. He's one of my favorite artists. I love that album. But yeah, that's where I'm at musically. Make sure you go check out that remix I did of Fair Trade. I've been getting some pretty good feedback on it. I think I snapped on it. I think some people like it. So yeah, enjoy that. I'm gonna take a quick little break here and we're gonna get into some sports stuff right after the break.